Good afternoon, everybody. What's happening? Welcome to the Elite 100. Great to see you guys. I missed you guys last week. I heard you have an absolutely amazing mastermind last week, so I'm glad to hear that. And good to see everybody. We're actually in Massachusetts this week visiting family and had some fun yesterday on a duck tour. That's my win. We did a ghost tour too, which was pretty cool up here in Massachusetts. So that's my win for the week. Why don't we get going with some other wins? Who has some wins they want to share, and then we'll launch on here.
I would like for us to congratulate Jared in his first big speaking gig and literally crushing it.
Oh, where was this?
About that, he was nervous.
Brian, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Phil.
Brian, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
You guys can't hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
This is weird.
Phil's having technical difficulty.
All right, Brian, I'm going to log out and log back in.
All right, we'll see you in a minute. Where is Mr. Jared? I saw him poking. Oh, there you are. So do tell, brother. What went down?
Yeah, can you tell us what worked well for you and what could have been more different or better?
So I spoke at Luke's wealth creation event, and it was great. I think there were about 200 people, 220 people who attended in person, and then we had about 300 people who were virtual.
Nice.
We talked about crypto and Forex and real estate and wealth creation through setting up trust and other various avenues to invest to create passive income. And it was a really fun experience. I mean, training with Dave really took what I did to the next level. Katie and I did a 3-day with him a week ago, well, a week and a half ago now. And that was my second one I've taken with him, and it was a huge brush up. But what I loved is I walked on stage, I had a great format, really executed, got people to sign up for my course.
Oh, nice.
Dan was there. I don't know if Dan's here today. I can't see whether or not he's here. But it was really cool. I had a great time.
I love it.
Yeah, I agree. He was the top selling speaker at the conference. And literally, so that's always the best, to have the best performance, but also get the results.
I love it.
Hey, Jared, real quick, can you share with us what were the 2 strategies you think that worked the best? And if you could share us what your biggest learning lesson was from that event.
Sharing my personal story was probably the top one. So not just professional, but sharing my personal story. I connected with a lot of people afterwards. A lot of people were getting emotional with me for some reason.
Oh, wow.
I had like a dozen people like credit as I start crying. I want to do this with my life. I don't know where to go.
Oh my God. Wow.
So that was really cool. And just, I had a team there to help me. My partner, Tim, was there, and I had an intern there and had a nice booth set up, which Dave coached me on how to do that. And that was really helpful too, because you needed to spend a lot of personal time with people when you're creating a program, selling it, and they want that one-on-one, and that was very helpful. And my lesson is just practice. So, I mean, I went on stage and I was nervous because it was the first time I was ever going on stage selling something, even though I've been on stage. But what was cool, because I have the format and I followed the full format and I didn't deviate from it, I executed.
I love it. I love it. So for you guys that are wondering, Dave's going to be doing a session to open up. You guys have probably seen that. He's going to be doing a session to open up the Mastermind in Nashville. So a lot of you guys have courses or coaches or need to up your speaking game. So I'm going to be working with Dave as well. And he's going to be doing a nice presentation to open up. So looking forward to that. What other wins do you guys got? Who else?
Everybody's got a win.
I've got a win to share with you. I put an event down with Mark, who's been a stage hypnotist for 30 years. We put a NLP hypnosis event, and it was in Fort Lauderdale, and it was amazing.
Nice.
We broke all the sales records. So many people are happy. So it was awesome. And then me and Mark partnered together, and we're going to do in November an advanced hypnosis certification. So great win for me to get a good partnership.
I love it. It sounds like a very successful weekend. I love it. Who else has a win they want to share?
I'd like to hear Kevin Lee's wins for the week.
Mr. Lee, what's up, brother? I want to actually welcome Kevin. I know you guys welcomed him last week, but I wasn't here. And also Chris and Erica, the new members here. We're going to break bread and see each other for the first time in Nashville. So really, really super excited for that. A lot of buzz about this too. I think everybody's registered. If you're not, please make sure to do so. But Kevin, what do you got for a win, brother?
Just a small win yesterday that there's this house that I talked to my accountability partner Antonio about. I bought it too high. Basically, we just buy and sell houses. Like that's kind of like what I do. And the rehab budget is like over our budget. So we just plan to just sell it as is. So we listed the property yesterday, got the photos taken over the weekend, how my contractor basically just, took everything out, just threw everything in a dumpster. So it's ready on the market. Hopefully, fingers crossed that we can get it sold above the price that we got it for. So, it's just a headache,
We'll
just
hold
to
the energy in the group for you to sell it. But, when you say hopefully fingers crossed, that's, what we want to do is use the content, right? What are you visualizing? A lot of times it's easy to set a C-type goal for a year, 2 years, but we can do this for every little thing, whether it's health related or a small thing like this. Like just hold the energy of what you want and you'll attract the buyer.
right.
Like literally, it just electromagnetic beams, you will attract the buyer if we're doing our part of the deal. And we can collectively hold energy for a good sale too. But no more fingers crossed or hopefully just
Okay.
put into the
I guess
universe
so.
what you want to happen.
Okay, so Kevin, I'm going to add to that. One of the things that you want to do, just like Brian's saying, but everything that you're saying right now is that you're telling the universe, yeah, hopefully it happens. Just like Brian just said, little things happen here. You get more little things. So I think what you got to do is that realize that every single day you're having multiple wins every single day. It can be as small as you say it is, or it can be as large as you say it is. But the point is, and why Brian loves this and why I love this so much is because this gets you into the vibration of like just shooting on all cylinders. Brian and I had a meeting this morning and we were both like just going and going and going and going. And I mean, literally, Brian, I mean, we probably somehow between the two of us made like well over $1 million this morning. Well over. And by the way, Brian, that call just happened, add another probably 600 to $1 million there. So
nice.
So Kevin, everything's like, so there's no such thing as, well, this little small thing.
I do have a question on that though.
Sure.
What is the difference between like being realistic and optimistic and
Okay,
positive?
first of all, realistic, Brian, hit him. Are you?
I'm looking for the slap button. So think about this, Kevin. What's realistic to Elon Musk?
Nothing is realistic.
Okay, but seriously, you're like laughing about it. I'm not saying that you really feel that way, but like Brian's asking you that question for a very specific reason because nothing is unrealistic to Elon Musk.
Okay.
So reality is
right?
subjective to the user, the holder. Like your awareness is what creates reality. And as you're stepping into the content, you start to realize more and more that we create our environment. We create our universes around. Everything is a co-creation with God. Depending on if we're doing our part. So if we're sort of up and down, or maybe it will, maybe it won't, then those are the results we get. But Elon Musk visualized this thing, like he's colonizing Mars. So when you say reality is subjective. Facts are subjective. Logic is subjective to you and what you believe is possible. We're going to get deeper into this, obviously, as you get deeper in the content, but it's the image that you're holding.
Hey, Brian, he should go into the hot sheet. Erica and Chris are new.
Yeah, we got a couple of those coming up when you guys are ready. I know Erica and Chris are coming up. Matter of fact, are you guys ready in the next couple of weeks for the jump in the hot seat?
Not exactly sure what the hot seat entails, but we're ready.
Oh, we're not going to tell you until you get there.
Yeah, yeah, it's show up.
Yeah,
no, when we have new members, we have you guys on and you kind of give us your background and your C-type goal, what it is you're looking to do. And if there's something to launch, scale, grow, if you need any challenges solved, if you're building a business, whatever it is, we open up our hearts and our souls and our Rolodexes and we all pour into you guys. And we can chat offline, but we're going to get one for you and we got to get one for Kevin when he's ready too. And anybody else, anytime you want one, you can always raise your hand. So Peg, you have a question or a win?
Peggy's always.
Hey guys.
Hey, hey.
I have a win. I always have a win, or I know I'm in hot water with Phil. So so welcome, Kevin, Erica, and Chris. I can't wait to meet you in person. So here's my win. It was pointed out to me yesterday that I have a perfectionism thing going, and I've been spinning my wheels for about a year and a half. And, I have all this collateral related to the business, and I keep saying, oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And my friend said, just freaking put it out there.
Yes.
And get out there. So I've committed to 30 days, and I love
Good.
what Dave and Jared were talking about, which is just really telling my stories, and that my mess is my message, and relating it to something about me instead of sterilizing it and just having it be all about transformation. So that was a big win for me, and realizing that the person I'm avoiding the judgment of the most is myself. So yay.
No, that's a huge win. And you and I have talked about this before. This is something that Grant Cardone talks about. Like, he gets things about 80% and launches them. He's like, you're going to tweak it. It's going to get better. You can get an analysis paralysis trying to make something perfect.
Wow.
And you can spend a lot of time. And whoever you're presenting to, it's going to come across like it's perfect and 100%. They don't know if you're messing up or if you're missing content or anything. And I think Dave would back me up on this. You got to just launch it and put your heart and soul into it. It'll be amazing, and you'll get feedback, and you may adjust from there.
Yeah.
But so I'm glad you had that realization.
Yeah, thank you. So my slogan is good enough 2022.
Yeah, it's good
So-
enough. Good enough in 2022. I like it.
Gee,
How about
Peggy,
great
if
enough?
you could only think, Peggy, who else has been telling you all that stuff for like the last year? Bill and Brian.
Well, I'm grateful that my husband isn't on this call, although I'm sure he'll listen to the recording, because if anybody's watched Modern Family, this would be a wedge salad moment between Claire and Phil. So yeah, so thank you. Thank you.
I love it. Awesome, guys. Well, let's get started here. Oh, Katie, got something?
Yeah, I just wanted to share 2 quick wins. So
Sure.
I wasn't here last week, but if you guys are thinking of speaking on stage, I highly recommend Dave's course. I liked it so much that I'm going back again in October. It's so relevant, not only to stage, but also when I'm coaching a group right now, about 50 people. And when I'm coaching them, I'm using the content that he gave us as well to keep them interacted and make them feel like they're getting a lot of value out of the coaching that I'm providing. It was unbelievable. I mean, Jared went twice. Like I said, I'm going back again. It was just, I can't even describe how amazing it was. And then another win for me this week was I decided that I wanted to have an umbrella or a company like above my other companies. And so I bought a couple websites for the Katie companies. So that's going to be my big company. And then Coach Katie is going to be a brand underneath it. Team Katie, the Mortgage Lady, is another brand. So I'm going to incorporate kind of the words Katie into all of my businesses and kind of create a brand like Oprah.
I absolutely, I can totally see. You and I have been chatting for a while, and I can totally see that coming to fruition. It is. So that's a
Yeah.
great win. That's a great win.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, who would love to read the Mastermind principles? I got those. I can pull those up. We'll get jumping into some content here. Who hasn't read them in a while?
Well, don't all jump up at once. Okay.
I'm just waiting.
How about
Brian,
Eric?
Volunteer.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, my man. There we go. I'll pull him up on the screen. Hold on a second. Carrie, can you take a note? Can we email this to all the Elite 100? We rebranded it, the Mastermind principles, so it's under the matrix.
Oh, I like that.
And we can get these out. That way you guys can print them out. But here you go, Kev.
Okay, I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. I believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom for far beyond my own. I understand that I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I'm open to accepting new possibilities. I forgive myself for mistakes I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past, so I can move into the future with a clean slate. I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires. And I hear my mastermind's partners supporting me in my fulfillment. I accept, I know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I am grateful knowing this is so. Dedication and covenant. I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a successful, filled, and happy life. I dedicate myself to be of maximum service to the world and my fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that, brother. And when we pull up the mastermind principles, I want you guys to look at this as like a privilege and an honor. We don't want to have crickets chirping when we go to read this. So if you haven't done it in a while, just raise your hand if it comes to you. And Kevin, thanks for doing that. But that's how you guys should look at this. It's a privilege and an honor to read those words in front of your peers. And Lenny's gone really deep. I think he still reads it every single day, and as part of his morning ritual. And when you understand the words that are in there, it is a privilege to say that amongst your peers. So thanks for that, Kevin. I appreciate it. Before we get going, talking about Nashville, would anybody here like a hot seat in Nashville? You don't have to have one, but if you want to have one, we have some slots. Is anybody here wanting?
You guys should all want one, by the way. I mean, this is so good. I mean, to do it in person is just so great because everybody's there. Everybody's there to help you. Everybody there wants to serve you. So raise your hands.
So Katie had one. Chris and Erica.
Did you raise her hand?
Yun, you want one?
I was going to say, you raise your hand regardless of the question. I will always take
one. Exactly. Yes.
Listen to you, and it's like this is like such a it's like Brian just said, it's such a privilege to.
Peggy, you'd like one?
This really helps you.
Sorry, what's the format of the hot seat? How long is it?
We're not going to tell you until you get there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we light you on fire. Actually, we are going to do that, guys. So bring your fire suits. No, Kevin, what we do there is, again, we do them here in group on the Zooms as well, and you'll get a full one here. Live in person, it's just about getting up and letting people kind of know where you're at and where you need help. If you're launching something, raising money, like everybody here poured in when I was raising money for the software company. That's something I did in the hot seat.
Yeah.
So it could be health related, it could be financial, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Just a chance to, kind of stand up in front of your peers and ask for help for something. So.
Okay.
Anybody else? Kevin?
I'll do it.
And like I said, I'll Josiah will work this in. I think there'll probably be about 20 minutes. So.
Okay.
If anybody else, if I missed anybody, just text me or email me if you'd like a hot seat in Nashville. So. Eric? Cool. All right.
Good.
Awesome, guys. Well, let's flip over. We're looking to finish up Power of Awareness. So let me pop that up. Bear with me for a second. And then we're going to be moving on to God Works Through You, which I'm really, really excited for. Here we go. Let's see. So make sure, I think we gave you guys God Works Through You at the last Mastermind. Is that correct? You guys all have, so make sure you have the book, God Works Through You, and then up and coming weeks, we can all mastermind on that. So can you guys see the screen here?
Yep.
Good. So we're on chapter 27, Reverence. I'll get us started here. It says, never wouldst thou made anything if thou hadst not loved it. In all creation, in all eternity, in all the realms of your infinite being, the most wonderful fact is that which is stressed in the first chapter of the book. You are God. You are the I am that I am. And I should go into this with Kevin and Erica and Chris. One of the pillars, probably the strongest pillar of this group is mindset, is studying mindset together. So if you don't have this, make sure you guys have the book Power of Awareness. We've been masterminding this for quite a while now. And we're studying these chapters every morning as part of our, or every night, whatever works for you guys, as part of your morning method of operation. So this is what we're studying now by Neville Goddard. And we just go deep into the content, we mastermind on it. So Chris and Erica, let me ask you, when it says that you are God, you are the I am that I am, what does that mean to you guys?
For me, I feel like I'm the creator. Like that's what the way I look at it, or the way I interpret it. It's me as a creator.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I feel like we're all universal intelligence, universal consciousness. We kind of tap into that, so therefore we are that, and we create our reality.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is, right? We are part of universal consciousness. And I always hold up an iPhone, like these don't grow on trees. This is a co-creation. God could not have created this phone by himself or herself or itself, right? It's a co-creation. We have a part in some of this. So Kevin, when you're talking about what is realistic, well, to Steve Jobs, a $2 trillion global company was realistic. But if it's realistic to you is like, I don't know if I can get, I don't know if it's going to sell or not, then you're going to get a lot of, I don't know if it's going to sell or not. It's literally thoughts become things. To me, it's like, if I want light to come on, I turn the switch on. It's like, it's a universal principle. And when you
Brian,
hold,
it's so funny, it brings back that when I first read this, and you are God, I immediately, the old paradigms came in, and the old paradigms being from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you are God. You're not God. You have to be afraid of God, because that was our paradigm, right? That was our parents and our parents' parents. And that comes into what everybody's talking about. And what Kevin was talking about was that it's realistic for Elon Musk to do that, but it's not realistic for me to do that. But the truth is, it's just the opposite. It's realistic for you to do exactly what Elon Musk is doing, if that's what you want, right?
That's the biggest question.
It took me a while to really embrace this.
Well, who else here grew up in a very heavily religious background? It was really, yeah. Chris, Erica, Matt.
There you go, right there with you, Erica.
And that's what happens. And there's no fault, there's no blame. It's just, you got to, we all want to question things. We're born into constructs, and some of our family might have a very, very.
Right, I'm sorry, you got to read Josiah's comment. Duh, my name is Josiah, LOL. Okay, you win, Josiah. You're the most religious.
That is true. But actually, Josiah and I talked about this a lot when we were when he was living with us. It's so funny. He was living with us in Lunenburg now, and he lived with Yun and Matt in Lunenburg too for a minute. But it's true. So we want to question things, and that's exactly what this says, right? It's like we are creative beings, is what that sentence really comes down to. It says you are conscious, or we are consciousness. You are the creator. There is a mystery. There is a great secret known by the seers, prophets, and mystics throughout the ages. This is the truth that you can never know intellectually. What does that mean to you guys? This is a truth that you can never know intellectually. I feel like Yun wants to speak on that one. This is the truth that you can never know intellectually.
Right, because our brain can only compute what currently exists in the past experiences, and our spirit is so much more powerful than our intellect could ever be.
That's the way I see that too, right? We can know this spiritually, but not intellectually.
Right.
Even though we're intellectually reading the words on this page, it's designed to invoke spirit.
Ayun's daughter.
Who would like to take over reading from here? Who is this you? And again, this is also a privilege.
Exactly. Come on, guys.
Yun, go ahead, Yun.
Who is this you? That is John Jones or Mary Smith is absurd. It is a consciousness which knows that you are John Jones or Mary Smith. It is your greater self, your deeper self, your infinite being. Call it what you will. The important thing is that it is within you. It is you, it is your world. It is this fact that underlies the immutable law of assumption. It's so powerful. It is upon this fact that your very existence is built. It is this fact that is the foundation of every chapter of this book. No, you cannot know this intellectually. You cannot debate it. You cannot substantiate it. You can only feel it. You can only be aware of it. Like, how powerful is that? Oh my
That's
gosh.
so powerful.
Becoming aware of it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I love this book for so many reasons.
So many reasons.
I mean, it just makes you feel so amazing, right? I mean, you're ready to go. It's like, wow, it's me.
It is. This
love it.
entire world is just a reflection of everything that's inside of us.
Exactly.
And we get to experience whatever it is that we want. And I go back into that statement of reading, like think about all the things that we've used as far as labels are concerned, because that's the only way that we can describe anything. Right. So we have all of these labels of things, right? I'm a female, I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, right? I'm a real estate agent, I'm a small business owner, all of these things to define. And yet the most powerful thing is that I'm actually the creator of it all, right?
Yes.
I get to create infinite versions of myself, of whatever that is. And to be consciously aware of that is like, it's just the power. Becoming aware of it, one great emotion permeates your being. You live with a perpetual feeling of reverence. The knowledge that your creator is the very self of yourself and never would have made you had he not loved you must fill your heart with devotion. Yes, with adoration. So one of the things that I've just been kind of relating back to is almost looking at our brain and feelings as indicators, right? Our feelings, our brains and our thoughts and our feelings are indicators to get to more of our truth. What is our truth? Our truth are emotional feelings that bring us all of the amazing feelings of joy, gratitude, love, enlightenment, power, right? Any amazing feelings that we feel, that's really our truth, and discovering all of our truths throughout this lifetime. So experiencing anything, right? Anything at all, understanding that our emotions are just indicators to indicate more of who we are and what our truth is. And I truly believe if we can teach people that concept alone, how much easier is it to go through life?
I think everybody here, one thing that separates the Elite 100 from any other group we have in the Matrix is our extremely high level of awareness. Everybody here, I don't think anybody here is an employee anymore. I think you guys are all creating your own, what I call a heavenly life of health, wealth, love, happiness, business. You've gotten rid of things that aren't serving you. I know Ara's journey has been just absolutely amazing. Physically, emotionally, relationships, business-wise. And I think he'd be fine if I spoke for him. Like he was succeeding at a very high level, but a very high stress level too. So the health that went along with that. And now it's just a lot more fun. We're just playing a game. And I remember talking to him and Eric and just saying, listen, guys, either one of you could cash in everything right now and sail off into the sun like you've made it. And then both of them are just like, holy shit, we have. Now it's just more and better, right? So I think one thing that separates this group, we're all in the state of awareness where we're kind of creating at will, and now it's just more and better. But we've made it, right? You're here, it is done, and this is why this is really a group of peers for me versus like TIR, where it's one of many coaching. So I absolutely feel and echo what you're saying there, and it's amazing to be part of this group.
Right, with one caveat.
Okay, what?
I want to grow up to be just like you. You're my idol.
Well, the fact that you can acknowledge it, you already are, Ara.
Thank you, Yun.
And I love this group. I love this group. Who would like to continue reading from there? Right, from one knowing glimpse.
But all right.
I'll do it, Brian.
All right, brother. I saw you kind of peering in.
I'm always peering in. One knowing glimpse of the world about you at any single instant of time is sufficient to fill you with profound awe and a feeling of worship. It is when your feeling of reverence is most intense that you are closest to God. And when you are closest to God, your life is richest.
What does that mean to you guys? It is.
Well, one thing it means, Brian, I just want to interject right here. This group, right? This group is exactly that right now. Aren't you feeling that right now?
Amen.
I know Eunice. I can see it's coming through my little screen here on the 5 people that I can see. Or because Ara's got his screen off, but that's okay. Right? I mean,
No,
that's what it
100%.
means.
Sorry, guys. I'm driving. I'm sure you don't want to see me bounce around. So.
Well, Ara, I mean, we all have our taste, don't we? Okay.
Greg, what does that mean to you? It is your feeling of reverence is most intense that you're closest to God.
I think to me, it's you're living at your highest level of consciousness. I think it's really like you have a connection to God, the source, right? That I think, there's a knowingness, I guess, is the best way to put it. That that's just the way it is. And I think it's so, you have a peaceful core, I guess, is the best way that I would define it, because there's this, like, to echo what Phil says often, is like, there's a simplicity to life that if you really embrace it, life really is that easy if you allow it. And I think you can't have it without, feeling a connectedness with God and having that source, and it's not like religious, it's spiritual. It's just the best way to put it. And I think, as earlier sections of this chapter indicate, it's sometimes even hard to describe.
Yeah, that's why I'm always asking you guys from different opinions and angles, because it's challenging to put into words.
Right.
I really do think, though, what Greg just said is like just such the perfect close to this book. I mean, it really is, right? It is. It's so simple.
Yeah.
And feels so amazing.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. All right. Our deepest feelings are precisely those we are least able to express. And even in the act of adoration, silence is our highest praise. I hope you have enjoyed reading The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. Click more for free books by Neville Goddard.
Great job, Greg.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you guys.
Greg's not just doing that, but he's also selling these books too.
Right, exactly.
1-800-GREG.
You can contact me for more information.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
checking
that
my
was
little
awesome.
notebook powered off here. Let me just get my cord real quick, guys, because I want to take notes with Kevin and Erica and Chris. I don't have your goals written in my notepads. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
Well, Brian is taking a minute break. I'll entertain you with some songs. And I got a new Broadway play, guys. It's going to open up in November of 2024.
Phil, I kind of like you. I like you in that lucid state of non-sleep, because you just kind of go in the flow. And I don't know if you realized that last week. It was absolutely beautiful. You had like, you're half like drunk and you're like, oh,
I was literally like, Brian, I didn't even tell you. I was literally up almost all night long just with all these different deals. Finally, I got some really great sleep and much better.
I love it. So
I
Kevin,
think, I think Jared, I had a call with you right afterwards, right? With Taj. It was like, it was, what a crazy day. Anyway, I'm sorry, what, Brian?
No, Kevin, what is your C-type goal?
Well, I wrote it down. I can just copy and paste that into the group. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah. I just want to take it down here so we all know, because one of the things we do in the group here is we all hold the energy for each other. So I'm always making sure that we all know each other's goals, so we can pray about it for each other.
Okay. Let me see here. Just put it down there. I think I went over this with you, like during our one-on-one, kind of like just perfecting it. That's it. I mean, it's broken down into two. One is the relationship goal. The other is the income goal. Yeah. I think I don't even know if that income goal is like a C-type goal, because it looks like, we're pretty much on track to do exactly what we're gonna do. Like,
it's not a C goal, it's a B goal.
Yeah, it's already happening quick. So it's a good example. Like, and you're already becoming aware of that. It's you're stripping away limiting beliefs just from focusing on things, right? We're in the content, we're focused on revenue streams, we're focused on increasing that. So that's the easy one. But just so everybody knows here, Kevin's also looking to attract his soulmate, right? A lot of us here have our soulmates. We're very blessed to have that. And but maybe some friendly advice for Kevin on some of the things you guys did in the early days to attract your soulmate. Yun and Matt, how did you guys meet?
Oh gosh, he was actually my mentor / coach at a door-to-door sales company right when I got out of college.
Naughty.
However, I want to share this with you, Kevin, and everybody else that wants to meet. So a lot of the things that happen in my life, like all of us, we've done things unconscious competently until you become aware, right? And one of the things that's really, really amazing is that I wrote a description about my future husband back in high school.
Oh, wow.
Now, the crazy thing is this, right? Again, didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of did it as an exercise. Marriage was not even at the top of my forefront of something that I desire. But I said, if and when I do get married, these are the qualities that I want. And the thing I want to share with you, I did receive everything, right? And the journey is just absolutely amazing. And I've actually witnessed other people that, you know, has done similar things and created it. But what I go back to is just be very specific and be careful what you ask for, because you will get it all. You will get it all. And Kevin, as you elevate in your vibration, you will. So just make sure that you're kind of very vague and specific, if that makes any sense, right?
No, it absolutely does. One of the things I was chatting with Kevin is, yeah, you wouldn't want to put a face or a name to the person, but you do want to, it's the feelings you're describing when you're with the person. And it looks like Peggy just put something in the chat, Kevin, if you want to grab that.
Yeah.
How to attract a specific person from Bob Proctor.
Oh, there you go.
Peggy, did you have a comment as well?
Yeah, so before I got into this material, I was in the process of getting divorced from a marriage of 18 years and 3 kids, and it was not good at the end. But so before I was aware, I was an unconscious competent, and I went to a retreat and I literally said to the universe, I am ready for unconditional love. It wasn't very specific, but you know, I said, I am ready. I don't, you know, I'm leaving this to you, universe. It could be a cat, a dog, a woman, a man. I'm not batting 1,000 here. So whatever you got, bring it. And then I met Dan. And
you got a man and a dog at the same time.
I was just, yeah, you know, does Dan know it came between him and a golden retriever?
No. No, or another woman.
Because they
but,
can.
no,
I mean, it can though, Kevin, is what the point is. It can be anything. This is what Peggy just said.
and it worked, you know, it worked great. And I've had since then many clients whose goal it is to attract a specific person. And Bob does a really good job in this video of explaining. It's a real short video. But I think the thing that I've come to understand now is we need to become the person that we want to attract. So what are the values, you know, that God forbid something happened to Dan, you know, what would be my values? Learning, growth, impact, helping others, you know, financial and, you know, freedom and abundance and things like that. And so that's what I've had my clients do, literally clean out half their closets, put out 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and just get into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Like she's already, or I don't presume it's a woman, but, you know, he or she is already here. They're seeking you, and you're their answer to their dreams too. So that's my advice on that.
Oh, I love that, Peggy.
Real quick, I actually did that before I met my husband. It's been 11 years now, but I cleaned out half my closet. I set 2 places for dinner. What really made the big difference is I started sleeping on one side of the bed, because
oh wow,
if you think about it, right, if you're in a relationship, you're not sleeping sprawled out in the middle of the bed. You're sleeping on one side of the bed. And I'm sure that triggered something subconsciously, but it also allowed me to be in that energy of attracting the person that was perfect for me. So I just echo that, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that worked for me. So
I love that.
Chris, I feel like you have to move over.
I know. I want to hear what Chris said. I want to hear what Chris said. Puff it up, brother.
I essentially sleep in like the equivalent of a baby crib, part of my bed, because she's sprawled all over the whole bed. I have about this much space. I get a king size bed, but I'm pretty much sleeping like I'm in a coffin the whole time. Just to
oh, I love it.
Keep it there.
You'll see here, Chris, there's no
I guess that's what I get for meeting her in a bar too. We did ours a little bit different.
Oh, I love it.
Who else scripted out in some way, or shape, or form their partner? Anybody else? I know Yun did. I did.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
I think that, you know, what's so amazing is not just to attract, but knowing what I know now, what's so powerful is that Matt and I have co-created each other, right? And the consistent conversation, the consistent holding each other in the highest light, consistent providing the environment for us to allow each other to fully express, right? Like, I think it's just so important, because especially nowadays where people like, you know, if it doesn't show up the way that we want to, like people are so quick to like give up on stuff and like whatever. But just going back to what Peggy was saying, what Katie is saying, like we all have to become that individual. So we can desire so many things on the outside. We can even have that person here, but if we're not that person that's ready to receive, then we're not going to really see and experience what we're looking to experience. So I can't even express to you when I started taking this course, and the course, you know, a lot of people looking outside in would have said, oh my God, you have an amazing marriage. You're always with him. You guys do things together. But truth be told, our marriage just continuously gets better and better utilizing this content. Because I can't even express how many times I've rewritten a life script, literally telling a story of what Matt and I are becoming, right? And then we write a new one so that we can co-create together.
You bring up a couple of really good points, and that's one thing I still do too, is I still hold the energy, even though I have Laura and she's here. I still thank God for her every day. I still read that life script. I still listen to it, describing her, even though she's here. So I think that you bring up a really good point. It's important to hold that energy too, once you find somebody, and to continuously improve yourself, because you're right. We attract what we are when it comes to a soulmate. The feelings that we're putting out. And the one thing I want to say to you, Kevin, this is a really good topic, is easy, calm, effortless fun, right? You're not looking to attract somebody that's a ball of stress and like, right? So make sure you're easy, calm, effortless. And right in the Mastermind principles, it says to remain an open channel of God's will. So it's the law of non-resistance. Right? This person is, you know, how do you feel when you're with this person? And what you got to do is get yourself into that state now, and then you'll pull the person into your life. So I always say there's three planes, right? Spiritually, intellectually, and physically.
Yeah.
So the spiritual is the prayer. It's the feeling of the wish fulfilled in the morning, midday, daydreaming about this person at nighttime. So there's a spiritual part. Then the intellectual part, and you and I talked about this, it might be like, you know, reading the 5 love languages or reading books on relationships, or I'm sure there's books on finding your soulmate if you Google it, right? So there's an intellectual part. And then the physical part, you know, when I was single, I was, you know, I would take dance lessons, go to a new gym. I was on dating sites. So I was physically putting myself out there. Now, I didn't meet Laura at the gym or dancing or on a dating site, but I was doing my part of the deal.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Awesome. Who else has input on this? It's a good subject. We talk about money a lot, which is easy. But you know, having that person is to me the highest thing you could have.
I think with us, one of the turning points was, you know, a lot of people use the cliche that my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my spouse is my best friend. I know we've all heard that and probably said it, but we sat down one time and we actually talked about what does that actually mean? Can you actually sit down and talk with your spouse about the same things you would talk about with your buddies at a bar? Or can you share your dreams and desires and your deepest, darkest parts of you as well with them, and feel like you can be completely vulnerable, but they're going to support you and it's all going to be fine afterwards? And so we talked about that, and because there's a big difference between being best friendy and actually like a best friend. So we decided that's what we wanted. And because of that, you know, we learned even more about each other, a lot more about each other, but it's made us even stronger to this day. And I wouldn't take that back at all. And that was before we started doing this material. Now, since we started doing this material, we've actually become even stronger. So,
well, good example, doing something like this together, right, is totally, completely bonding at a very, very high level. And I love that. I mean, people see Laura and I like traveling around, like we are definitely best friends. You know, we're closer than I've ever been with anybody, and it's because we have so much fun together. I see that with you guys. So you guys are always laughing, and I think laughter is a great, you know, great component of an amazing relationship.
Into that.
Who else has anything for Mr. Kevin? I think this is a really good subject. Greg?
Yeah, Brian, you're more aware of it than most, but you know, this content, you know, like really had a massive impact on Liz and I's relationship. Liz isn't here today, but you know, just that going through the material together was so important, and just growing together, learning together. You know, our Liz and I's relationship was, you know, God had his hand in that for sure. As far as, you know, we both grew up here in Florida, attended the same university, but met in Colorado. 2,000 miles away in a small town of 5,000 year-round residents. And that was just, that wouldn't have happened without, we were unconscious competence at that point, but like that doesn't happen by chance. But just being so grateful every day to have the partner next to you that's there. I think Matt and I were kind of chatting separately just now, but living in this concentrated gratitude every day, I mean, that's a huge thing. But I mean, this is this content literally it's changed my relationship with my wife, business, everything. It's fundamental to everything that you want. But I like what you said earlier, Brian, about if you want to turn a light on, you turn the light switch on. You want something in your life, you have to focus on it, turning those thoughts into things. And I think that's the biggest thing. And it's really that simple. And to echo Phil, what you say all the time, it really is that simple. You just have to make it so. Then you have flow and ease in your life that's present at all times. And that's the way to live. And so like working less, making more, all that good stuff. That's very much where it's at. So
I remember when we first met, so you guys were similar to Ara. You guys were succeeding at a high level, but especially Liz was really stressed out. You guys were working 60, 70 hours a week. And we butted heads a little bit, right? I was like, well, this is the way it is. Not my opinion. It was just stating universal law. And but you guys pushed through it. And I noticed one that you pushed through it together. And that, I'm sure that bonded you guys even closer. But I do remember that back and forth. And that's why we call our company the Matrix, right? When you take the red pill, all we're promising is the truth. Not saying you're going to like it, right? But everything is a reflection of our thoughts. So if we have something that's really challenging in our life, we need to look at our thoughts. So I just wrote down a couple of things here, Kevin, too. The biggest thing to realize is that you deserve it. Biggest thing, you are a great person. I've known you for a short amount of time, but we've gotten really deep together. You got to understand that you're worth it. You deserve it. And you almost need to demand it from the universe. It's your God-given right to have this person, and then the ease and common flow part of it, right? Have fun with it.
Cool.
Anybody else? Anything on this subject for Kevin before we wrap up here? Dan?
Yeah, I have something real quick. I didn't know it at the time, but I was thinking about when I was previously married to somebody else, I was thinking about the qualities that I wanted that were not in my relationship. And it wasn't every day, but it was often, and it increased as time went on. And it actually happened. And I received above and beyond, like the rest of you folks. She's my soulmate, my angel for eternity. So it works.
I love it. So what you're saying, Dan, is even when you were married before, you kind of were focusing on or putting energy out for the qualities that were missing that you wish you had, huh?
Correct.
Yeah. I love it. Love it. Love it. Anybody else?
Kevin, just a quick thing. Make sure that you're thinking about what you want, because a lot of times our brain will go into our past experiences and start rattling off all these other relationships that we had and say, okay, I don't want this person to be this way, that way. Believe it or not, it's a mega world of a difference. So really, really make sure that you're just focusing on what you want. And this is just my rule of thumb that I love to live by. Is treat every relationship as a new relationship. Don't bring your past experiences into it, right? Okay. And what I mean by that is just trust yourself fully that you deserve it and to embrace it, so that way you can receive the most out of them like you're giving the most out of you as well, right? How many of us enter a relationship, whether it's a business relationship or a significant other, where we come in with all of these impressions or thoughts that were created from our past experiences, and we never, ever, ever fully get to enjoy that experience in front of us because we come in with all of these stories in our mind. So just to be aware.
Just to summarize, you want to come from what you don't want into what you want, and then you want to visualize.
Okay. Always only want to focus only on what you want, never on what you don't want. Always, always, always. That's your rule. That's all.
It's just like we say, if you don't focus on getting out of debt, you focus on making more money. So there's a huge difference. So don't focus on what you don't want. Just only paint the picture of what you want, what it feels like. And Neville Goddard says it's the spirit or the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? So that's I think that's the the general consensus here is that everybody here before they're with their person, they had the feeling, or they created the feeling, whether it was sleeping on one side of the bed or clearing a space or whatever that was. So, you know, having that in your morning routine, it's funny because it's a bizarre concept to think about. You have to act like she's already there or he's already there, whatever. You have to act like that person's already there and what it feels like, what you'd be doing to set up attraction, right? To set up vibration to cause attraction. So hopefully that helps. And we can go deeper on your hot seat on that. But that's an example of a little bit of a hot seat, by the way, for Chris and Erica and Kevin. But when you guys get your own hot seats, it's the entire Tuesday session. So awesome, everybody. Well, does anybody have any questions about Nashville or anything coming up?
I feel like Carrie had a comment and I just want to hear
Carrie?
her. Carrie, did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, I was just going to share. I don't recall where I read or heard it, but there's something the mind and subconscious cannot hear the word don't. It's like it cuts that word out entirely, and all it hears is what you are really saying. So that's why you
Correct.
shouldn't tell your kids don't run, don't do this. It's rather walk, please, instead of don't. So when you're like making that person up, don't think I don't want this. Think
Right.
I want.
Yeah, if the thought of the thing comes in your mind, it's the same thing like setting a goal to get out of debt. All your subconscious hears is debt.
Right.
It's exactly the same thing. So you just focus on, and Kevin, you might journal about
Beautiful
it, too,
relation.
you know, and put it in your life script. We talked about really expanding that. You know, what does it feel like? Are you traveling? Are you doing real estate deals together? Or like, what is it that you're doing with this person? And what does it feel like? And you can put that in your life script and it becomes part of your daily method of operation.
I have one thing to share before we wrap up.
Sure.
I won't dive into my own personal because it's a little interesting right now, but I can definitely help you. One thing I did that really worked, and I would do it again and again and again, whether I'm with the person I'm experiencing now or somebody else, was I picked a situation or like a circumstance or an event that really got me emotionally involved. So for me, it was the meeting. Like I really wanted a really magical way to meet this person. And so what I did was created a life script or like a little, I call them like just a little audio loop, a little loop of like 8 sentences of what that was like. So as if I had already experienced it, like I saw him and I just knew right away. We both knew it was a magnetic feeling. I didn't have to wonder. I didn't have to doubt. I didn't have to question it. I knew this was my next person. You know, I described his, you know, how his character, what he looked like, how it made me feel, everything. And I would listen to that before bed. And I would kind of like go to sleep as like a little kid waking up on Christmas morning, like literally falling asleep with a smile on my face, thinking about how cool it was going to be when I met this person. So for me, it really helps to pick, to create an event or to create a situation and then kind of become like obsessed in a healthy way with that unfolding, if that makes sense. So whether it's a date or a meeting or y'all being introduced, if that resonates with you, that's what I did. And it was really
I love
fun.
that. Instead of
Lifetime anyway.
instead of focusing on sort of the whole picture, you're hyper focused on an event.
Yeah.
I actually love that because it's going to cause you to really focus. So that might be some good advice.
And then
Kevin.
it's like, oh no, when is it going to happen? You just get really excited. You're like, maybe that's her, maybe that's him, maybe that's them.
Love it. Awesome, everybody. Well, this is good. This is a really good subject because like a lot of times it's easy to get caught up in, you know, financial things and income, which is great and it's fun. But this to me is the deeper, more powerful stuff. So thanks everybody for chiming in. And Kevin, thanks for being vulnerable and sharing that too. I hope you get some good advice. And until next week, guys, we'll see you soon and God bless.
You guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.